three major facets of customers for child sex slaves. The Vatican, not a surprise. Politicians, which surprised me with the names that I saw, and Hollywood. After the second time I got made, when I saw some of the politicians, the guy that I was in contact with was a guy named Jeffrey Epstein. Some people know about him, most people don't. Jeffrey Epstein has a fucking island, a private island in the Virgin Islands. Our job, one of our jobs, was to make sure that we got young girls, some boys, on planes over to the Virgin Islands. Sometimes it was a transfer of money, whatever, what have you. But this guy, Jeffrey Epstein, had a private jet that would go over to this island. We used to call it the Lolita Express. Now, with the fucking internet, you could look up and Lolita Express and see this guy, fucking Jeffrey Epstein, was like this with Bill Clinton, Kevin Spacey, a whole slew of others. These are names that have been in the news fairly recently. These are the people that I saw back then, the people that I knew about. You wanna know why I'm coming forward? Because this shit is gonna break. It's impossible. The only reason why this shit is even still kept under wraps is because there's so many motherfucking people involved in power that they're able to just hold it back just enough, just hold it back just enough, but it's about to fucking explode. And I'm gonna be on the right side of the fucking law when it happens, you know? I'll tell you that much right now. I'm gonna be on the right fucking side of the law when that happens. But it is gonna come out. More of it's gonna come out. It's creeping out. We have corruption too. Fucking mafia, it's treacherous. Look, I told you about my father, my family, it's fucking treacherous. Backstabbers, the government's the same way. There's infighting in the FBI. There's infighting in the police department, in politics. These guys know what's going on, but it's all a matter of who's gonna implicate who because they got their own fucking dirty ass skeletons in their fucking closet. That's the only thing that's holding it back. But now with all the information and more people finding out, it's gonna come out. It absolutely is gonna come out. Within the next 5 years, it's gonna blow open the entire fucking government. The mafia only exists because the government lets it, and the government only exists because the mafia protects it. Is I don't even know if I'm doing this because I want to have some kind of redemption, if I'm having a change of heart, if I found Jesus. I don't know if it's that or if it's because.
I'm Dr. Alex Robinson. I'm a clinical psychologist. You asked so many questions, and many of the questions that you asked would be ones that we would use in a psychosocial interview.
You know, I'm fucking nervous. I'm actually, no.
With Johnny, it seems like he started very, very young. And I'm not saying, of course, I can't diagnose him. I've never interviewed him personally.
We go in, there's a few people I didn't even know.
All sociopaths and psychopaths would meet the criteria for narcissism, but not all narcissists meet the criteria for psychopathy or antisocial personality disorder. I'm just saying that there's a lot of the indicators are there. Certainly a narcissistic trait.
I'll let you reset. I'll let you reset. Was I not supposed to start?
Both would be criminally versatile. Both would be very opportunistic.
There isn't a boss of the family.
Perhaps thought he was superior and that he was central.
There aren't 5 families. It's all One.
Even if that was his trajectory and he would have been identified early.
There's corruption in the government, and the higher up you go, it's politicians, names you'd know.
More emotionally volatile, more impulsive, more reactionary.
I'm trying not to give you a bullshit answer. Let me talk. You gotta let me get this out. With the internet now, you know, all this information, it's out there. Everybody's got it.
Engage in behaviors that others would just find far too upsetting.
I remember one time I woke up. I didn't wake up. I always go to a lie. I always go to a fucking lie. The first thing out of my mouth is a fucking lie. That's the two things that fucking surprise me the most, is that all this fucking information is right there on the fucking internet. It's all fucking there. Everything that I'm saying. People don't want to believe what I'm saying, fine. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you too. It doesn't matter, because you could look it up. It's there. It's not a secret anymore. And the other fucking surprise is that nobody does a fucking thing about it. You don't know how high up this goes.
Lower basal level of anxiety and stress response.
And I know that you probably don't believe me.
And manipulative.
I think that's the smart way to be. I wouldn't believe me either. I didn't believe it.
Cool, if you know what I mean.
Jesus. Loyalty. Family. We call each other a family.
He was exposed to multiple traumas, inappropriate child rearing practices, you know.
If you asked me if my father loved me, I don't know.
His upbringing only solidified those antisocial behaviors and sort of criminal, not sort of, very criminal and very violent.
Family is defined by two things. One of two things. Blood or honor. And I'll damn sure take honor over blood. We can't choose our family. We choose our friends. I gave my fucking life literally to this fucking thing, and the fucking hypocrisy is what drives me insane. We call ourselves family.
And then exposed to dead bodies.
I don't want to talk.
Child abuse.
You got 10 minutes. The Vatican. People already kind of know about that. In Hollywood. People are about to know about that. Nobody does anything about anybody that does anything fucking corrupt, whether it's the government or Hollywood or the fucking priests. You don't happen to have a skull, do you? This guy comes in with a hood, and we're told that the supreme ruler of the family, this more or less energy, higher power, our God, is.
I still have a lot of questions. If I could interview him, I would love to explore some things a little bit more.
I'm going to tell you something.
I'm the filmmaker for this project, and I've been wrestling with this footage over the last 7 or 8 months, not knowing going into the interview with what exactly Johnny was going to talk about.
My name is Jonna Jackson. I am a producer. I live in Hollywood, California. Johnny and I met Tampa, I guess about 25 years ago. Met on a party boat, and Johnny was the life of the party. He came right up to me. I was a little enamored, doing a little drugs, maybe. Had a little ecstasy happening. I think Johnny might have been the source of that. I never really asked him, to be honest with you, but it was pretty evident. We stayed friends, and we still saw each other, have a few drinks together, but it never went really any further than that.
Being somebody who has been a filmmaker or a writer and dealing with controversial, edgy topics, we deal with violence and death and rape, to talk to somebody who has seen that in real life with no barrier between us at all was scary and ominous, and going through the footage hasn't been any less of that. It's in fact been more.
To be honest with you, I've thought about this interview, what I was gonna say, how I was gonna say it, writing shit down like it's gonna be the president's speech. How do I word things? How do I make it sound good? How do I make it sound fucking like a gangster? How do I make myself look good? How do I make myself feel good? But what I really believe is the truth, what I really believe is the truth, is that I changed.
What we never really talked about is what he did for a living. You know, when he called me, this was a really different call. Asked me for some help by just getting a couple camera people together, and he wanted to tell his story on film. It was more serious than I've ever heard Johnny before, and he asked me that I could do this within the next day. And I asked him if he was, are you putting my life in jeopardy? Is your life in jeopardy? You sound so serious about this.
I'm a Christian. I believe that my Lord and Savior is Jesus Christ.
He said that there was a lot happening. He didn't want to talk too much about it over the phone. I just said, you know, Johnny, are you going to say things that I just don't want to know about? And he said, I need to tell this story. And I want to let you know that I actually have a meeting with the FBI.
And I can say for a fact that my faith is stronger now after doing this. There's a plane going overhead, but that's okay.
I opted to leave the room. I just thought anything I hear, I want to hear from Johnny directly to me, not on a camera.
It was an issue with money, you know? An issue with money. When there's an issue with money, that's about as serious as it fucking gets, you know what I mean?
I watched what the boys had shot, and
if this is what I release that you hear, you're going to hear the plane too. So no audio tricks, no nothing. This is just truth and coming from my heart. I became a stronger Christian after putting this footage together because...
And I'm sitting on this footage trying to decide, where do I go from here? Because now I don't know where he is. I don't know if he's alive. I had to decide whether I was going to put this out or not, because that's what Johnny wanted, and that's very evident that he wanted his story told.
I really believe that there's evil in this world, and I believe that there is good in this world.
It's a hard thing to decide to do, but I think it's the right thing to do. I hope it's the right thing to do. But he did some bad things, and I know it was a lot of the influence of what was around him. And yes, I understand free will and choice.
I kept praying on it and asking myself about it thousands of times. I do believe that this has to go out there because hiding from evil doesn't make it go away. Facing it does. I also believe that it's not my place to judge. And I'm not just talking about judging the man that I interviewed. I'm talking about it's not my place to judge the audience, you, and decide whether or not you're good or bad for watching this, for believing it, for siding with him, for not siding with him. But I do believe 100% that it is my job to put it out there because I do believe that somewhere deep down, this man is asking for forgiveness. He was like the devil asking God for forgiveness, and I don't want to judge him either. I do hope that this man finds salvation. Maybe this, him speaking his truth to me, was his redemption.
Camera B is rolling.
This is my interview with John Lange, aka Johnny Lange.
My name's John Lange, Johnny Lange. It was Lange, but then they shortened it when my grandfather, my uncle came over here. Italians used to shorten their name, so Lange means 30 languages, from Campobasso, Italy. I was born in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and I'm an enlightened member of the Genovese crime family. It's what most people would call a made guy, a made man, a wise guy. My grandfather, John Lange, and my uncle, Mike Lange, they were immigrants that came over to this country. A lot of my family went to New York, Brooklyn, Staten Island, and then I have, of course, my family in Connecticut. They ended up buying a grocery store, but they turned it into a music store, Michael Lange Music Store in Waterbury, Connecticut on East Main Street. They've long since died, but the music store actually still exists. You know, it was a front for money laundering. That's how I found out that my family was in organized crime. My grandfather used to work on instruments, and my uncle would, you know, work on instruments, and they ended up getting a lot of success in Connecticut because they had all the accounts for all of the schools, all the high schools and middle schools and everything. They would get instruments for the poor kids, and and the schools would, so all the kids had instruments. Not sure exactly how it started with them. A lot of the things I'm gonna talk about, a lot of people know already. Shit they know from The Godfather, from The Sopranos, from the news, from all of the rats, Sammy Gravano, Valachi, Junior Gotti. So I'm gonna say things that you probably know, and then there's gonna be things that we're gonna talk about that I know for a fact you don't know. Are you okay? Because I saw you looking over. I just want to make sure everything. All right. I'm not used to this. I just talk, right? Sorry. Is it cool if I smoke? I was pulling them out before you even give me the answer. Yeah. Well, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't smoke in front of the lady. You two assholes, fuck off. But I'm fucking nervous. No, don't. You don't have to say, oh, it's okay. No, I get it. Yeah, I've never been in front of camera. I just heard.
I think it's just neighbors walking the dogs.
Yeah, that's.
You okay to continue?
Yeah, Michael Lange music stores. My uncle actually played music. He played the night they repealed Prohibition, played a concert. It was in his obituary. I never even knew that until he died. I always thought he just did, I thought he was in the rackets and stuff like that, but he was actually legit when he first came here, and he wanted to play music. I grew up in a music store. You get to meet a lot of different people. I used to see some guys come in that were there for instruments, some guys come in that were not there for instruments. Yeah, just get right into it. From a young age, I knew that my family was in organized crime. People in organized crime, the mafia, this is called Cosa Nostra, they gamble. People owe them money for gambling, but they owe each other money, this, that, and the other thing. Anyway, my uncle, before he started making a lot of money, I remember sometimes he'd come home, he wouldn't have a car. Next week he'd have a Cadillac, then he'd have a Mercedes, then he'd have no car. Sometimes he'd have a fucking a greenhouse business, then he'd have nothing. They always held on to the music store though, My father is a made guy, a captain. Of course, my grandfather, my uncle, and I have a bunch of cousins in New York, uncles that are as well. There was no question growing up that would be the career path that I would take. I never even thought about doing anything else. I actually played trumpet, though, at the music store. They used to let me play with the instruments. And I swear to God, I don't even remember learning how to play. I just remember always playing, and I was really good. I remember really young thinking, oh, why am I playing trumpet, But I used to get mad when I practiced, though. They have a tool to pull a mouthpiece out of a trumpet. And I used to get so fucking pissed off. I'd be playing, I couldn't hit a high note. I'd smash the mouthpiece or on the ground. I used to bend up the bell. My grandfather would, he'd fix it. He had a special tool to pull out the mouthpiece and everything. I jammed it so hard you couldn't even pull it out with your hands. I was a strong kid. That's how my life started. That was my introduction into organized crime. Seeing, people come in, give some money or a package or a bag. Package you later find out is the money, grown men crying, going in the back with my uncle, my grandfather. One of my cousins in New York, Tommy, he was older. I used to go spend summers in Canarsie, Brooklyn. He knew a little bit more about the lifestyle, the game. So I would, learn things from him. Later on, well, I'll get to that, but yeah, that was, yeah, that was my introduction to it, My father was more in the open, but not in the open. The thing about Omerta, it being a secret, you see that in the movies, the code of being quiet. You know, you don't say anything if you're a gangster. It's true, you're not supposed to. Anyway, so my dad, you know, more in the open about it, but never really talked to me about the inner workings of the business until I became MAID. I was on the fast track to becoming MAID. I was 28 years old, fairly young for anybody who gets MAID. After that, then my dad opened up about business.
Is the mafia still as powerful as it was? Is it still connected to cops or judges the way it was back in the day? What is it connected to?
Everything. Every fucking thing. Music, movies, porn, politicians, Trump. Trump was doing business with Sammy Gravano in the fucking 80s. All of Trump's buildings uses ready-mix concrete, right? It's concrete that dries really, really, really fast. So Trump made a deal with Gravano. He would use his concrete on his job. And the reason they did that was because, so if there's an issue with one of the fucking unions or some shit goes down, they could do just a work slowdown. The cement dries super fast, and then what happens? They lose fucking millions of fucking dollars. Trump was notorious for that. He would also get, so let's say you have, let's say you're Joe Blow Windows. Trump or his guys, yeah, we want to hire you to do this fucking skyscraper, great money, everything. So you take out fucking loans, you maybe get a little bit of a deposit, take all of your fucking, all your money, your loans, your good credit, put it into this job. Then you don't get fucking paid. What are you gonna do? Who are you gonna fucking sue? You don't have any fucking money. Your business goes bust. All of his buildings, that happened. Him on immigration, he had a bunch of fucking Polacks working for him, right? What do they call them? The Polish army or something. These motherfuckers were making a few bucks an hour. They were sleeping on the property. What's it called when they're building on the site? They were sleeping on the fucking site. This is common knowledge. Everybody knows about this. The guy that's hard on immigration, right? And don't get me started on fucking the cunt. Sorry, Hillary. She's the one that's been in charge of the whole political duo. It ain't Bill that's the power, it's her. Mena, Arkansas, the fucking 80s. They were dealing fucking cocaine, flying it into Mena, Arkansas at the time. They just did a Tom Cruise movie about it. That's real, that's Barry Seal. That shit really happened. They were flying fucking cocaine into Mena, Arkansas, and then they were dispersing all of the coke all around the country, and that started the fucking crack epidemic of the, I mean, now there's a little more involved. That started the crack epidemic of the late 80s. That was all the Clintons. He knew. He was the governor of Arkansas. They actually had a gun manufacturing plant in fucking Arkansas. And then they would take, those same planes would fucking fly the guns to Nicaragua for the fucking Contras. Clinton was behind it the whole time. Bush Sr. was the president. And then years after they're both president, they're flying on planes together. They're doing the, yeah, we're here to relieve all the earthquake relief and all that fucking bullshit. They knew each other from before. They did business before. This is all shit that you could look up and see. It's not a fucking coincidence. And then Hillary's about to run, and you got W and the other Bushes and Jeb and all those fucking guys saying, oh yeah, well we're gonna actually vote for Hillary. These are hardcore right-wing fucking Republicans. The Bushes and the Clintons have been fucking in bed, both of them, with the fucking mafia since her and Rose Law Firm. This is shit that you can look up and see.
Is that why you're here to tell us the mafia is connected to Trump, to Clinton? So are these the things that you are going to talk to the FBI about, or is there something more?
The mafia only exists because the government lets it, and the government only exists because the mafia protects it. There's corruption in the government, and the higher up you go,
So this is the first of many moments where Johnny seems to go inside. He's thinking about something more, something deep. Of course, later on we find out what it is. Johnny, is there something that you wanted to tell us?
how does this sound? Good? My uncle used to, He used to do business in Florida and Tampa, and so I'd go down there and spend the summers with him. And I met James, my best friend, in 1988. Yeah, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Who Framed Roger Rabbit was? I remember that, August of '88. So I'd go down, hang out with James, everything. We used to just fuck around, have, laugh. He used to do impersonations of my dad and shit, like the only motherfucking guy that could even get away with anything like that, Hey, Johnny, the fuck you doing? You got your fucking head up your ass. I think I was late 20s, early 30s, and I was going down there more often. I had a place down there, and I started dealing drugs. Like 1999, 2000, ecstasy was getting really big. Actually, I never said this. I actually did ecstasy, and I never said that because that's a big no-no. You're not supposed to do fucking drugs. There's a lot of wise guys that do and everything, but even if they're doing coke or something like that, it's almost as like that's more acceptable to know that somebody does, even though you don't really know because it's cocaine. But when you start talking about ecstasy, people think it's like a fag drug or something like that. A bunch of fucking dudes greasing each other up. Anyway, so I did it, and the first time you do ecstasy, the first time, second time you do it, it feels fantastic. It's like nothing else. You ever do it? All right, yeah, right. So, you ever do it? Hey, you ever do ecstasy? No? You want to? Good for you. You ever do it?
Once in college.
Yeah, all right. There you go. Fucking college. The thing with ecstasy is that it's not, you don't shoot it, you don't snort it, you don't smoke it. It's a pill. You take it. We've all taken pills, right? Vitamins, whatever. You take a pill, boom, that's it. And you feel really good and people are happy and stuff like that. So I got into it. I was actually doing it a lot, I had it. I was, a million pills at a time I had. So they call them beans. Ecstasy, they call them beans. I gave James a bean on my birthday. It was a birthday party. A bunch of the guys, my cousins, were down there, and they threw me a birthday party and everything. And James is a dude, didn't do drugs, didn't smoke, athletic kind of guy. About an hour later, he comes out to me. He's like, "This is fucking great, man." Yeah, and he got hooked. He got hooked.
This was the first time Johnny talked about his friend James, who he would talk about more later on in the interview, and it was obvious that he wanted to change the subject, so we asked him more about mafia and gambling.
Let me tell you something, gambling goes on in this fucking country more than anybody wants to believe, okay? Nobody makes anybody fucking gamble either. Nobody makes anybody buy fucking scratch-offs. People are addicted to fucking scratch-offs in this country, and lotto. People on fucking welfare buying lotto tickets and scratch-off fucking tickets. Gambling is a major problem. You think fucking athletes don't gamble? They used to back in the day when they didn't make as much money, but now all the money that these athletes make, they won't take any fucking bribes. I guarantee you, every one of those officials, fucking 80% of those guys are on the fucking take. And then the other ones that aren't, it don't matter anyway because they're on the same fucking field. Colleges, it's the same fucking thing. The gambling that goes on in colleges. And it's fucked up because people are making money off those fucking athletes. I hate sports team owners. I hate sports fans, sports teams owners. The fucking sports fans are fucking fat slobs. They don't play sports. They're drinking fucking beer that they're watching, eating the worst food that they have on an ad for a Did you see the fucking M&Ms? What finely tuned fucking athlete would eat fucking M&Ms or drink beer? None of them. but it's for the fucking sports fans. And then you have the team owners, right? They don't provide fucking security. They take over premium land. They want the taxpayers. They want you. They want you to fucking supplement. Who do they pay? They pay the top athletes. They don't pay all the fucking athletes. I think the athletes are the ones that deserve the money. They don't give fucking fans cheap tickets, that's for sure. If you're fucking middle class, you can't even afford to take your family to go see a game. Those fucking sports teams owners, they're fucking gambling like you wouldn't believe. They're creating fucking wins, they're creating losses, they're making money. All of the shit that you think is happening with sports teams, I guarantee you it's fixed. It's absolutely fucking fixed. These poor fucking athletes in high school, you know, when you're a fucking athlete in high school, you can't make any money off your fucking name. Did you know that? There was some fucking kid, this poor black kid playing fucking football. He puts himself on YouTube, right, making a rap video. They made him take it down. He wasn't allowed to make any money on it. Because when you're an athlete, they say it fucking, it protects the sanctity of athletes and the sanctity of the players. It's all bullshit because it gets these guys, it gets these college athletes, they'll take bribes, they'll throw a game. It definitely happens there. Then if they make it into the pro league, you got something to hang over their head. I don't know, Michael Jordan, just saying. Pete Rose, come on. You think it's just them? They're just the ones that got fucking caught. Fuck. You got fucking helicopters in LA all the fucking time. That's like the third one. What do they call them, man? Ghetto birds,
Yeah.
right? Holy fuck. You never see fucking helicopters in New York. It's fucking rare, man. Or Connecticut.
Let's cut for sound. You were talking earlier about your friend James, and I'm curious, if you don't mind me asking, what did he think about the business that you were in? How did it affect your guys' relationship?
Now it's a loud fucking cricket. You know, we got into a fight a couple times, and I hit him, punched him. I mean, that's the way. I grew up with guys, man, I used to fight my cousins, I used to fight my friends, fucking beat the shit out of each other, and then we'd be cool. I had this fat fucking Polak. He just fucking died of a heart attack like a year and a half ago, man, my age, which is young. Me and Stan used to fucking fight, man, every week. That fat motherfucker used to, when it came to wrestling, he'd be able to, you know, fuck me up. The older I got, the fucking more pissed off I'd get, ruthless I'd get in fights. I used to kick his ass. You know, that's the way it is. Me, other fucking guineas, man, duke in and out. Sometimes our fathers would be there too. Fuck him up, don't backstab. And then whoever fucking gets their ass kicked is getting their fucking ass kicked back home too. I had a guy, this fucking Irish guy, Mike, I just talked to my dad about this. This dude, because when I was younger, I was a little bit smaller, you know? This dude used to pick on me, everything, you know, bullshit. One time my dad saw, you know, took me home, takes me down to the basement, just beats the fuck out of me. Makes me put on boxing gloves and just fucking full out punching me, making me hit him, telling me it's not hard enough, hit harder, not hard enough, hit harder. He goes, next time I see you getting your ass kicked by that fucking mech, I'm gonna fuck you up even worse than this. After that, I don't know, it was like spinach. I see this guy again in school, fuck this dude up, man.
So Johnny, was there something specific that happened that made you want to come forward and tell us your story now?
I remember one time I woke up. I didn't wake up. I always go to a lie. I always go to a fucking lie. The first thing out of my mouth is a fucking lie. I always go to a fucking lie. We are fucking liars, man. Italians are fucking liars. All the stereotypes that they have out there about, you mentioned rapper, crack dealer, you think black, Cacos, Mexican, fucking, right? You got money lenders, the Jews, this and that. It's true, it's all true, right? But the Italians, the thing they say about them, it is true. There's fucking doctors. They used to say black people were apes. You know that, right? There's doctors, sociologists that have said that there is a gene in Italians that make us not conform to societal norms, you know? something in our DNA that makes us not trust government, that makes us able to be cunning or able to just steal from somebody, cut somebody's throat, chop them up. They argue about whether it's in our DNA or the way we're brought up. Some people think it's both, but they say that, they've said that about Italians, and we lie. Oh, my mom used to say that to my dad, and she was right. They'll look you right in the fucking face and just fucking lie. And I used to see it growing up, but I don't think it was that. I don't remember that influencing me. I remember just always going to a lie, even in school. I was a kid and I changed a grade on my report card once. I had some fucking D's. I put a line through them, made B's. I was young, I thought it would work. I go home, my mom signs the fucking thing, she doesn't notice. Bring it back to school, my teacher calls me up to the desk. You know, what's going on? What happened here? There's B's on here, these were D's. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was the substitute that handed out the report cards. They had a substitute that handed out the report cards. I fucking just lied. Principal calls me in. Fucking lied to him. I looked him straight in the fucking face. Said, I don't know what you're talking about, you know? And I remember thinking to myself, I have to not react and have that, you know, that stupid look on my face until he asks the question. It hits me. You know, and I react and everything. I don't even know how old I was. Anyway, I said, yeah, I think it was the fucking substitute. I just fucking lie. Go home, lie. About a week and a half later, they had tracked down this substitute. Fucking, I get called out of class. Principal takes me outside and says, you changed your grades on your report card. I fucking broke down crying. I was a kid. I was a lot to cry. Broke down crying. Couldn't hold that lie anymore. Dad picks me up from school. Doesn't say anything. Just one smack. That was it. Go home. I didn't even get a punishment from school. They were so concerned with how someone so young. Why would this kid want to lie about his grades? You know, what was he afraid of at home? I think I was kind of born with it. You know. There's something that's inside most of the Italians I grew up with. There's something inside that makes me want to hurt somebody.
When he says there's something inside that makes me want to hurt someone, that's not something you hear from someone who's just really grandiose and seeking attention and thinking they're the best. In the case of Johnny, there's these learned behaviors and these values that are being imparted or lack thereof. So how much of that is nature, how much is nurture? I really don't think you can ever fully parse those out when it comes to human behavior.
I remember the first time I wanted to hurt somebody, and the first time I did hurt somebody. I was in nursery school, Naugatuck, Connecticut, at this Catholic nursery school. I was playing with the big blocks. You remember big blocks, and sometimes big blocks were big, you know, smooth, shellac, you know, nice. I was building them, and I'd get up to the last block, and there was this kid bigger than me. He'd knock him over right as I got to that last block. Knock him over right as I got to the last block. During nap time, his nose got hit. He had a bloody nose, and the nun said that I hit him with a big block. I don't remember doing it, and I'm telling the truth. I might have done it. I don't remember doing it. The nuns grabbed me. They locked me into a room. I don't know how long later, my dad comes, picks me up. Didn't get in trouble or anything, picks me up, never went back to that nursery school. That's the first time I remember wanting to hurt somebody and doing something violent to somebody. Kindergarten, Central Avenue. Mrs. Kennis. I got a good memory for a lot of things. Mrs. Kennis, again, there was a kid. See, a lot of these fucking kids used to pick on me too. That's another thing. It wasn't just how I was, but it was the neighborhood that I was in, you know? This kid, Gilberto or some fucking whatever, you know, one of those names, you know. This kid would fuck with me. He just kept fucking with me over and over and over and over and over again. And I finished my work, right? He sits down. He had fucked with me, you know, 10 minutes ago. He sits down. I got up and I I stabbed him with, these are kindergarten scissors though. It wasn't the sharp scissors. It was, the real, the rounded, like safety scissors. And the kid was sitting there, and it was those old school seats where, there's the opening right behind. And so I go up, I just stab that fucking kid, and he screams, he's crying and everything. They bring me, now I don't remember if they brought me outside too, or to the principal's office, whatever we had, call my dad. My dad comes to the fucking school. I remember I was eating a fucking cinnamon cake from the fucking lunchroom when he came, and I love those fucking things, those cinnamon cakes. But I was eating a cinnamon cake. He, on a picnic bench outside, my dad shows up, goes in, talks to the teacher, whatever. I would have loved a bit of fucking fly on the wall for those conversations too with the teachers. So the teacher knew that this kid was, doing whatever he was doing to me. And then she watched me finish my work, turn it in, go over, get the scissors, stab the fucking kid, and then sit back down. She was concerned that because it was premeditated, there's a problem. Most kids would just react immediately or whatever. You saw the kid bullying me. So if what about him? What did he do? You know what I mean? I catch heat because I finish my work and then I get my revenge. Who cares? You do it right then or you do it a year later. I think my dad was fucking lecturing me on that too. You gotta be careful. You don't wanna be a serial killer, I'm not, nobody in the family, is a fucking serial killer, They're just regular fucking killers.
How do you kill someone? I couldn't imagine being in the same room as somebody being killed, but how do you desensitize yourself to becoming a killer?
How do you desensitize yourself to becoming a killer? That's a good question. I've never heard that question like that. I've always heard people ask, how do you sleep? How do you live with yourself? How do you know what I mean? But how do you desensitize yourself? Spoken like a guy that maybe has thought about desensitizing himself to fucking kill somebody. It's not like in the movies where they say making, they make their bones, right? They kill their first guy. And back in the day, they had to kill somebody in order to get made. Now, it's all about how much you earn and this and that. It's more about money. They did it because they wanted to hold over your head that you murdered somebody, because once you murder somebody, that's it. They think you're less likely to go to the cops or make a deal. There is a little bit of a system to it. I know, talking to my cousins, everything. With me, I had pet rabbits as a kid. Little pet rabbits, hop around and play with them. My father would make me name them, and I used to call them all Bunny. I was a little kid. He'd say, think of something more fucking creative, fucking little idiot. They'd be my pets, and then we would kill them and eat them. Rabbit meat is my favorite meat. Have you ever had rabbit meat? No? It's delicious. Are you Mexican? You eat you guys do that with the chicken. You grab the chicken by the head, spin it around, right? Everything? Okay, cool. She's been desensitized to killing. We think, oh man, they pick up a chicken, they spin the thing, they break the neck. She has been desensitized. It's all levels from there, right? With me, it was rabbits. We had rabbits. They were pets. My father made me kill them. Pick it up, boom, crack, right in the back of the fucking head. That's where the term rabbit punch comes from. Hitting in the back of the head. Kills them immediately. They twitch a little bit, but they don't feel it. It's the most, listen, the way I was taught and the way we killed those rabbits is the most humane piece of meat that you could eat. Those chickens probably lived a good life in Mexico, and then boom, you pick it up, spin it around, twist the neck, break it. It's quick. They're not living. It's not like this fucking mass farming. The calves that can't move. Veal's fucking good though too. Veal's really good. Not as good as a rabbit though. So you first kill a rabbit when you're 5 years old. Yeah, that'll take you to the next level of humanity. When my father was, he learned from pigs. My grandfather, amongst other things, was actually an expert pig roaster. People used to come to him for roasted Roasted pigs. The secret to roasting pigs is he made my father kill the pigs. And thought I heard someone. And he'd make my father kill the pigs. And with pigs, you don't actually slice the throat. You'll stick it right in there in the jugular, and then the blood just flows right out, just pours right out. Works on humans too, allegedly. I'm just saying. The first time that I saw a dead body, I was 12 or 13. You know, I used to spend my summers in Canarsie with my cousin Tommy, and he takes me over to, I think we went to Queens. It was some abandoned building in Queens. Abandoned, there were people living in it, but it was a fucking dilapidated shithole. So he takes me into this room, and I see there's a guy sitting right against the wall, next to the window. And I remember there was a big head. He looked like the fucking the guy from Jack in the Box. His big flat head, and there's this little hole right there. Someone had shot him in the head, and it blew the back of his brains out. And Tommy told me to go look, or if he was nudging me over, but I was so just hypnotized by this big fucking head, and this it looked like a scarecrow or something not real, but I knew it was real. And I remember I walked over to the body, and there was fucking my you remember Keds, those sneakers, yeah man, I had these little Keds, and they had these street signs on them. I'll never forget. I started walking across the floor, and the shoes are sticking, and I look down and I realize there's fucking blood everywhere. I don't even think it was just from that guy. It just seemed like just an immense amount of black fucking blood, and I'm going. I remember thinking, oh, I don't want to get my kids dirty. I don't want to get in trouble, you know. And I walk over, and as I get closer, there's this like fine glass feeling under my feet. Skull fragments, you know. And I looked, I thought it was close. And I remember looking at this guy's face, and he had the eyes were open. And it was like this hazy, dirty algae in a fish tank. It was just glazed over. But you could tell that they were real eyes, like you couldn't replicate this, but it was like his lifeless, like the soul had been removed from this guy's body. You know, that was the first time I saw a dead body. And years later, I found out that my cousin actually took me to see that body because my father wanted me to see it. You know, see how I reacted, see if I was, you know, if I lose my composure, if I step back at all, you know, see how I'd react, you know. It's next level of next level of becoming desensitized, you know.
What you're going to see is a chunk of story that was taken out by the editor, and at the last minute we had to put back in. You're going to see time code on the screen, the coloring isn't done, there may be some issues with sound, but this is something that I find very relevant to this man's character.
So it was summertime. We had this long fucking driveway, really long, 1/8 of a mile or something. I was working up for 2-3 summers. I wanted to roller skate down that hill. When you're a kid, you look down a hill like that and you're thinking, holy fuck, how can I do this? It's like the scariest shit in the world. End of the summer, I said, fuck it. Boom. I go down the hill, I'm on my skates, I'm going fast, so fucking fast. It feels like the wheels are about to fucking come off. You can't stop, you're going so fast. One of the things on my skate actually broke, and boom, I just land. Blackness, tar, and grit on my face. I reach up, I looked at my hand, I'm bleeding. My head's cracked open. Parents are in the house. I'm screaming, mommy, daddy, mommy, daddy, mommy, daddy. fucking blood. There's the salt it's like salt water in your. You're right there, pal.
Doing fine.
I'm just fucking. I'm screaming. I'm like, mommy, daddy.
Depending on what I was observing in the interview, there were times where I was deeply concerned about Johnny, about how he was raised and some of the stories he told. And then there was other times where I questioned what he was saying. I wasn't sure that he was telling the truth. I'll just say it like that. And there were times where I had to take pause and check my own reactions and responses to the things that he was disclosing.
Looking at me, just looking at me. And I remember in that fucking moment, in that one moment, knowing that no matter what, are we done with the moving around? Are we done with it? Okay. All right, I'm gonna go back.
My response just really depended on what was being told in the interview. There were some things that just didn't make sense to me. I couldn't reconcile, and even some of his stories, I just sensed there was some inconsistency there. But that also made sense when he told his story, and he was very candid about basically being a pathological liar, and he probably had trouble even being honest with himself and recounting his own story.
Remember what I told you about guineas? Fucking, they lie,
And the fact that he could be so upset and then just cut off the emotion and start over again and be dramatic again was really telling of potentially some very serious personality disorders. Even when he's reflecting on some of the hardest moments in his childhood and in his life, it seems like these are just narcissistic injuries. So again, he would have the narcissistic personality trait, even if it's beyond that. For example, when he tells a story about his roller skating accident, then stops and requests to retell that story, you may have noticed, you may not have, the story changes and becomes more dramatic. Something might have fallen off on my roller skate became a wheel fell off on my roller skate.
This is the fucking truth. The fucking wheel came off of one of my fucking skates. And I just remember, I flipped. Everything goes black. I look up, I'm on the ground. I have this hot tar.
It was that sort of thing. Like I questioned, why is he telling this story? I don't question that he had a big accident, and this was a huge impact on his life for maybe very different reasons than what he was sharing in the interview, and he might not even be aware. It seemed to be more of a narcissistic injury than it did, like a childhood trauma and abuse. It was more, he didn't do something perfectly, it didn't go well, and he didn't get the response that he was looking for. And he realized for the first time his sort of vulnerability.
I'm screaming, I'm crying, I can't see. I'm wiping blood away from my fucking eyes. It's just pouring into my face, and it's burning because it's like fucking salt water, like a thick salt goo and tar and sand going in my eyes, and I'm fucking screaming. I'm like, daddy, mommy. I was a kid, fucking mommy, daddy, screaming. I wipe the blood away, and I'm able to catch my fucking dad standing in the window, like something out of a horror movie, just standing there, stoic, no emotion. Time was slow. It seemed like he was just staring forever, and I'm like, help. And then he's gone. And I remember thinking, nobody's gonna come out, nobody's gonna pick you up, nobody's gonna fucking say, oh, poor baby, are you okay? You have to get the fuck up. Stop fucking crying. I stopped crying in that fucking moment, got up, go in the house, I walk up the stairs. My fucking mom, she don't fucking bleed on my carpet. That's what she says. Don't fucking bleed on my carpet. My dad was sitting on the couch. He was waiting to see what I did. He was waiting to see what I did, how I acted. Go in the bathroom, I'm washing the blood away. I remember just looking in the mirror and just seeing this gash across my forehead. Going to the hospital, I get stitches. They put a mask on you, with an opening, so my face is covered. I remember I'm getting really fucking nervous now, and I know it's coming. Something's coming, you know what I mean? They put the mask on with this open thing, and the doctor asked my parents, do you want to stay and hold his hand? And my mom, no. And she walks out of the room. My father leans into me and he says, don't scream. Don't scream. Leaves the room. 33 fucking stitches right there. And not one fucking peep. Not one fucking peep. You could see, now I got the old lines, man. Middle age. Yeah, big scar, not one peep. We got in a car after. My mom was driving. I don't know why my mom was driving, but we were going to my favorite calzone place. I was able to get the adult-sized calzone. It was a big calzone. It's a place, Giovanni's. They used to do this trick that they would make the calzone, bake it, and then they would deep fry it. It was fucking delicious. My dad, he says, you didn't make a sound. You became a man. You became a man today. He's a great man. My dad, he's a good guy. It's fucking crazy when you're 9 years old and you discover your own mortality. You gotta find out somehow. I gotta use the bathroom.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Here?
No.
I know.
You can take a break.
Give us a clap, Johnny.
Johnny, before we started rolling, you were saying something about most mob guys aren't even that intelligent.
Yeah, most mob guys are fucking idiots, you know. Hey, compa, what do you eat? Go have a fucking sandwich. Get some fucking idiots across the board. And that's the way most of them are portrayed in movies and TV and everything. Yeah, you know, you had Michael Corleone, but most of the mob guys that make it really big, really successful, they got cunning. They have smarts, real smarts. They're thinking like chess players, you know, 20 moves in advance. Gravano was like that. Sammy Gravano was a smart one. John Gotti was a fucking idiot. He was dumb. And you talk about a degenerate gambler. I mean, forget about it, you know? I'm always thinking 20 moves in advance. Whenever I meet somebody, it's not even, I don't even think about it. It's just a feeling that I get. How can I get something from this person down the line? Don't tell John I said that. I could be like that with you. You know, what's the angle? How do I get what I want? It's the way I'm made, you know? It's something in, there's something in the DNA. It's genetic. How do I steal? I fucking love to steal. Italians love to steal. Not from friends, not from a mom and pop shop or anything like that, but fucking, you know, corporations or the government, fuck them. I love to fucking steal. There's something about it. I feel like it's something that's owed to me. That's my money, you know, my money in their pocket. Like I said, it's something that's just in the DNA. It's the way that we're made. You see it with young Italian kids who grew up to be probably the Russian mafia. It's probably the same thing. The cartel, those cocaine guys. There's something different about those guys. When you see them, you know, or you watch interviews, there's something different about them. It's like they have this elevated sense of intelligence, and we can recognize that in each other. When these guys make a deal and they proffer, turn state's evidence, whatever you want to call it, they go into witness protection. They're supposed to be clean. They're not allowed to do crime anymore. Please. They're still doing their shy business, their fucking illegal gambling. Sammy Gravano was selling ecstasy, fucking crazy. All these guys that say that they're fucking clean, and they're in government protection. Even there's guys where they're allowed to operate. So you might get a guy who says, all right, you know what? I'm gonna keep giving you information. So like that fat fuck, Ron Previty, he was given information to the FBI from the very beginning. That's another thing with a lot of these wise guys, even the made guys. They're working with the FBI from the very beginning, getting money from the FBI, and then they're giving like little bits of information. They're not giving up a lot, but they're giving up information from the beginning. Previty was working with the FBI from the beginning. He talks about it. He admits it. He says everybody's doing it. When you're giving information to the FBI and you're still in the family, you're still running a crew, you're a soldier, whatever, and you're still out there making money on the street, streets, you're allowed to do it. Then they say to you, well, you can do it, but you can't commit violence. Wow. Right, you know, they know you have to. There's got to be violence in connection with anything that pertains to fucking money, street business, anything like that. All those guys, they're full of shit. The only guy that I believe, Michael Francis. You ever hear of Michael Francis? Michael Francis, fucking Mike. I met him once, and he was trying to convert me to. He was trying to turn me to Christ. Everything. Anyway, he's a fucking ex-mob guy. Made a shitload of money that he still has. He beat every charge against, well, just about every charge against him he beat, but he had a real big one. So Rudy Giuliani went after the mob in the fucking 80s. And Rudy Giuliani's the one that, you know, the fucking RICO Act. So the RICO Act is that fucking law. That's what they use against fucking Italians in order to fucking keep retrying them, blah, 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 this and that. Basically allowing double jeopardy to happen. But for Italians, organized crime. It is a law that's been on the books for, I don't know, a decade, and Giuliani was the one that actually was successful and he was able to use it. He was locking motherfuckers up 50 years, 100 years. Boom, boom, boom. Michael Francis, he was the only fucking one that beat Rudy Giuliani. Turns around, walks away, leaves the mob. He meets some woman on a, you know, movie set, because he was dabbling in movie production, shit like that. Mob's in all the movies, shit too. Porn, you know, whatever, regular movies. He's a fucking preacher now. Makes fucking millions of dollars, has this beautiful fucking palace, I think Miami. He lives out somewhere out here. Well, to be honest with you, I believe him. I think he's really a Jesus freak. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's pretty fucking sincere. All these other guys though, they're full of shit. Junior Gotti too, the kid. Let me tell you something. That motherfucker was giving up. You could see fucking the 302s. He was giving up information to the FBI from the very beginning, man. Some people think his father was too. You know what? Whatever. I'm not gonna go there. A fucking Irish gangster giving shit up to the FBI. All these fucking guys, man. Nothing but fucking dirty. But the mafia knew that fucking Junior was giving shit up, but they didn't give a fuck. They still let him say that he was the boss of the Gambino crime family. Have you ever fucking seen Junior Gotti? This guy couldn't run shit. He wasn't the boss of nothing, but they let him keep doing his deals with the FBI. They let him fucking, you know, go out there, the new face of the Gambino crime family. He's a fucking lightning rod. They put him on a shelf. That's what they call it. They put him on a shelf, and now all of a sudden he's out of the mob. He was never running anything anyway, you know, but that's how that fucking thing goes. Fucking.
You said something earlier about a 302. What's a 302?
If you're gonna flip, turn state's evidence, you're gonna become a witness, you're gonna rap. You meet somebody from the FBI, they can't get any information from somebody officially unless they have the 302. So it's just an official document. Now, a lot of these documents now you can see, some of them could be fake. I don't know, you know, now there's so much misinformation, information that people just fucking ignore, but that's a 302.
You said something earlier about shy business. What is shy?
Shy?
Yeah.
Shylocking is it's lending money. It comes from Merchant of Venice. He's a Jew. So Shylock is your shy business. You know, you lend money and everything. Listen, the Jews, you know, they're great money people. The financial structure of the mafia was created by a Jew. You know that, right? The entire financial system, the financial pyramid of the mafia was created by a Jew, Meyer Lansky. He came up with it. He gave it to Lucky Luciano, and that was the creation of the commission. When they came to America and they started Italian-American mafia, and Meyer gave them that financial structure, it changed everything. Jews are great money people. It's, you know, people get so fucking worked up about the stereotypes. Oh, he's saying the Jews get mad. Oh, you know, we're not money changers. Who cares? They're fucking great money people. Let me tell you something. The fucking Jews and the Italians, they were in it together in organized crime from the very fucking beginning. You give a guinea a fucking $1 million. He's gonna take it, he's gonna fucking stick it in his mattress, put it in the attic, put it under the fucking floor, you know, doesn't put it in a bank. The Jews, they took their money in little bits and pieces. They would invest in legit businesses, they would invest in legit stocks, they would invest in, I don't know, Vegas. they were able to show real money, right? So now they own Hollywood, they own the fucking casinos, well, they own the fucking banking system. They started at the same time with the Italians. Italians are so fucking stupid. They could never show real money. Again, probably something fucking genetic, man. Hey, I'm Italian, it's fucking, I get it, but there's this big thing, you talk about Jews, you say money and everything, people get offended. You know, if I say rapper, what do you think? Black guy, right? You know, unless it's fucking Eminem or fucking tacos, Mexican. I'm not racist. I fucked a lot of black girls, you know, love them. Jewish girls, fucking kinky. I wouldn't marry one, you can't do that, because that's against the fucking rules. And if they tell you, you know, they tell you who you can and can't marry, you gotta marry an Italian. Sometimes you can marry a Jew, that's a whole, but the father's gotta be connected, that's a whole different thing. But, you know, I actually, the biggest love of my life was this black chick I met back in, Jesus, fuck, 95, 96. She was a ballet dancer in Florida. James, well, my best friend introduced me to her. Christine. Jesus. I haven't thought about her in a while. She was a sweet girl. I loved her. I love that girl. Man, you can't you can't marry. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. She was sweet too. Oh man, she was so sweet. Thank God nothing got serious with her, man. She wouldn't have been able to deal with my life. That was before I had real blood on my hands, you know. But I should look her up. Facebook.
Is there a story behind that you want to share? Or
Nah.
is there something that you can tell us about the Mafia that we don't know?
You've seen gangster movies, right? You know what a made guy is, a wise guy. Everybody knows about that. They've even seen the making ceremonies. The Sopranos did it, I think, you know, a couple other movies. And it's true. The first making ceremony, you have a saint card. It's an altar card, Catholic. Usually Saint Peter, or it could be Saint Christopher. The Virgin Mary is a good one. That was mine. We used the Virgin Mary. In the first ceremony, boss comes in, says something in Italian. There's a bunch of the capos are around the table. It's in like a horseshoe, sitting in a horseshoe formation. Come in, they don't prick your finger, slice the fucking finger. Those old fucking guys have zero control when it comes to, that's the thing that's different. In the movies, it's a little prick. Fucking guy sliced my finger, hand was shaking. You know, you rub the blood on the saint card, they light the card, you have it in your hand, you say, if I betray my friends, may my soul burn in hell, like this paper in my hand. It's done, you wipe it off, and then they say more shit in Italian, and you are now reborn into the Genovese family. When you become a made member of La Cosa Nostra, if that's your dream, if that's your life goal, and it's something that happens in your family, that day when it happens, when you become made, it's like getting your black belt, or you know what I mean, getting your fucking degree. But more powerful. You are a god on earth. Anything you want, you can have. You don't pay for food anymore. Everything is comped. You don't pay for drinks. You don't pay for women. All the women want to be with you. And you think life's great. You think this is it. You know, I'm gonna dress nice. I'm gonna be, you know, this is the life. And then you realize there's still bullshit and corruption.
So, as you said, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but these are things that we know from movies and media, TV shows. So is there something else that we don't know? Is there something that you wanted to talk about that we don't know?
What you don't know is that there's actually a second ceremony, a real ceremony. It happens within 3 years after your first making ceremony. So when you get made, if you don't get inducted that second time within 3 years, it means that you're never going to. There's been 3 of these ceremonies, including mine, in the last 20 years. It's very rare. It always happens the night before Easter. The second time you go in, there were 2 other guys. We didn't know. We thought we were going in for a sit down. Just a meeting. We go in, there's a few people I didn't even know, obviously important. You could tell just by the fucking energy in the room. So think about it. First time you get made, you cut your finger, you wipe it on a saint card, right? You burn the card. Why would you burn? This is supposed to be a Catholic organization. The mafia is supposed to be a Catholic fucking organization. Why the fuck would you burn a saint card? Doesn't make any sense. And here's the other thing. Omerta, right? The code of silence. Why the fuck would they cut your finger? You see it. Everybody sees it. Everybody can see a slice on your finger. They know, we're walking around with cuts the next day. Those old guys, they don't prick your fucking finger. They slice your fucking finger. In the second ceremony, we're told we don't even have a boss. We don't even have a family. There's not even 5 families. There's actually one family. It's all connected, and we answer to one supreme ruler. And then they put a gun, a sword, it could be a dagger or a stiletto, a revolver, and a skull in the middle. They give us a Lucifer card, and we cut the inside of our lip because you can't see it. Now we're told, now you're a part of this thing, and it's really a secret, okay? We kiss the Lucifer card with the blood. We hold the Lucifer card high, and we're told that we revere him, that he is the supreme ruler of the world. The supreme ruler of our family only answers to him. After we hold this fucking card high, this guy comes in the room with a hood. I don't know who he is. Don't ask. I didn't want to know. I don't want to know now. And we're told to get on our knees and to bow before him because he is the supreme ruler of our family on the world. And he answers to Lucifer. After that, we eat an egg. I don't know why. I have no idea why we eat an egg, but we do. Now we become what's known as an enlightened member of the Supreme Family. Now I'm going to take you down a rabbit hole. In 1963, Kennedy was assassinated. Kennedy had a speech talking about secret societies.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings.
Every guy in the mafia is also, you have to be a Mason, you have to be a Freemason. I know, it sounds like, conspiracy shit, everybody talks about the Freemasons, everything, some of it's true, some of it's not. You also have to be one of the Knights of Columbus. Kennedy was set to go after these secret societies, he said it. This is 1963. 1963, our fucking friend Joseph Valachi, that was the year he testified before Congress. He's the first rat, he was the original fucking snitch. They asked him, were you a member of organized crime with Italian Americans? And he says, yes. What's it called? And they wanted to hear him say, the mafia. They needed to know that the mafia existed. Before that moment, people in the government said, oh, the mafia doesn't exist, it's a fantasy, it's nothing. He says, La Cosa Nostra, our thing. He admitted it, and he gives up the entire structure, how everything, how the money goes up, how it works the same way as the military. You have the soldiers, you have the captains, you have the underboss, the counselor, the consigliere, and the boss. He was the first one to do that. Now I'm gonna take you on the fucking rabbit hole even further. 1963, they have a ceremony in the Vatican called the enthronement of the fallen angel Lucifer. This is real. the enthronement of the fallen angel Lucifer. And it was decided at this ceremony in the Vatican, Lucifer was basically given a raw deal. He was one of God's top angels when he fell from heaven, and he took the other third of angels with him. He came down to earth and he was a fallen angel, but he was given a raw deal. We learn Lucifer is actually the supreme ruler of the world. Okay? God made the earth, God controls the earth, but Lucifer runs the world. Worldly things. You've heard the term worldly things. Objects, materialistic stuff, money.
Yeah, there was this consecration, this enthronement of Satan within the Vatican, of Lucifer, by the way.
Now, did that actually happen?
Yes, it's a historical fact. It was done one particular day by a certain group of people representing Luciferians all over the world, especially American Luciferians. It was done. And therefore, in a certain sense, Lucifer has power. He doesn't own yet, but I'm sure he hopes to own some pope.
So, 1963, all these things happen. Is it a coincidence? Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. But you can look these things up now and put it together, see what you think. I could actually show you what we do during the second ceremony if you want. You want me to tell you what to draw? Do you draw? You draw? You do? I'll tell the sound girl.
Yeah, I was a minister for 10 years. Left the ministry to pursue a career in psychology, but I was, of course, very interested in and see the importance of individuals' spiritual growth and development. I see how it contributes to overall well-being, or conversely, it can have harmful effects if experienced in a negative way. But I just found it really interesting in that what he's telling is true, and it seems like there's some corroborating evidence to it. I guess the mafia identifies with being Catholic, like you stated, and identifying very strongly with that, even though their moral behavior doesn't seem to line up at all. But they do identify, at least culturally, with being Catholic, and they do seem to revere that to an extent, and then to engage in ceremony and behaviors that disconnect them from that. As a matter of fact, would ask them to engage in behaviors and beliefs that are completely incongruent with what they thought they valued and believed. It seems almost like a brainwashing technique, so that they have no moral compass anymore, no certainty of what is right and wrong, and who to trust and not to trust, where to turn, disconnecting them from absolutely everything right to the core. And I don't know, if it's just some sort of cult behavior or if it's actually strategic, if it was meant to disrupt that so that they wouldn't stop by any sort of conviction or belief that would be something else they abandoned, that would give them that would stop them at any point from engaging in the behaviors they engaged in. If there is evil in this world, the mafia has tapped into it. It would make more sense for it to align with something like Lucifer and sort of demonic influences than to claim that they have any alignment with the Christian belief and narrative that would be against the behaviors that he engaged in.
It's fucking aggravating the fuck out of me.
If it's a battle of good and evil, it's obvious where the mafia and the behaviors that they are and the infrastructure that they adhere to are not in line with this claim of being Christian or Catholic.
No offense. Let me get this up. All right. Thank you. I'm not much of an artist. All right, so there's a skull in the middle. Okay, so you got the thing, the teeth. Now it's a real human skull, a sword on one side. Now it's got to be a long sword of a Roman soldier. Now the sword that was in my family can actually trace it back to the Greeks. A gun. It's got to be a fully automatic weapon. It could be an AK-47, AR-15, M16. This side, it's a revolver. Has to be a .38 revolver. The reason .38 revolver bullet casings can't, you know, when you have another gun, when you have a 9mm or a 45, the shell casings come out the side. Shell casings don't come out of a .38 revolver. Let me tell you something. Your wife or your husband goes to the store and buys a .38, watch out. So on this side, a small knife, a dagger. It could be a stiletto. It's like that, but it looks better. So it's the square and compass, right? It's meant to hide. Again, I apologize. I'm not a fucking artist at all. But it hides the Masonic symbolism underneath. Then they, you're not gonna fucking believe this anyway, but we drink blood from the skull.
Really?
I don't know if it was, to be honest with you, I didn't know if it was blood. I knew. I don't know where the blood came from, but that's it. That's you know, that's what's in the center of the table, and then I told you about what happens in the ceremony, and that's how you get made. Second time, that's it, but that's what they have.
Whatever happened with your friend James? Did you stay in touch with him? You talked about him, and you said that he got involved with ecstasy and he got hooked a little bit. Whatever happened with him?
It's easy to get hooked on it, you know. And I ended up getting him to move some pills for me, collect some money for me, meet some people, stuff like that, because I thought, you know, he's a good buffer and nobody, you know, this is a guy who never had a fucking, I don't think he ever had a traffic ticket, you know. So I'd have him do stuff, you know, just picking up money, delivering shit, everything. I would never have to worry about James. I could hand him 10 million in cash. There wouldn't be a fucking dollar missing. He got hooked, and he started going to raves and you know, and then they started doing other drugs and stuff like that. And I don't know what he got into, but it was an issue with some money, and
What was the issue?
you got to let me think, please.
Sorry.
It was an issue with money, you know? An issue with money. When there's an issue with money, that's about as serious as it fucking gets, you know what I mean? And, yeah, you know, I had to take care of it. Because everybody knew that there was an issue, that, you know, he was behind it and everything. You know, when I first started going down to Florida too, you know, my dad, you know, he was, you know, sometimes he was a gangster, man, you know. He would, he'd get mad, you know, he'd beat the fuck out of me. I deserved it, like, most of the time. I was a bad kid too, but, you know, I remember one time I went to go see James, and, you know, and he hugged me. I got locked up once. And my dad, you know, he didn't bail me out, but, you know, his mom did. And I sent her a card, you know, when he had his funeral. And I killed my best friend. That's what this life is. But he wasn't a part of that, but you get so wrapped up in it, man, you know what I mean? You get wrapped up and you live by these rules, this code. It's supposed to be this code, and you're supposed to just live this treacherous life. He was a fucking asshole sometimes, though, James. He had a dark side to him. We used to go when we were like 16, 17. There was a fucking fag club on the beach called the Lighted Tree, and we would. This was the '80s, so you could kick a faggot's ass. Nobody gave a fuck, And we'd go by the Lighted Tree and act like we were gonna pick up these dudes. They'd come up to the window. And shit, and we'd like fucking punch him in the face. He used to fucking really get into that shit, man. When this guy starts running away, police. Fuck. We used to laugh about sick shit like that. He could have been a gangster. You think I'm a bad dude?
What happened, if you don't mind me asking, you don't have to answer this. What happened after he passed with you? Did it change you?
Yeah, no. No, shit doesn't really change for you. Nothing changes, What's gonna change? I see these other fucking interviews, online, on TV, or whatever, these guys, they get interviewed, serial killers, mob guys, fucking, the fucking dude that ate those fucking fags, Dahmer, gets his ass beat in prison. Ted Bundy, people ask him, they're trying to pick in their brains, like, well, what's different? I don't know, what the fuck's different about, where the fuck's your cell phones made? You know how many people die for that? Or slave labor? How about Coca-Cola? You drink Coca-Cola? How many fucking people died for that down in South America because they wanted to start a fucking union? Some fucking spick in fucking South America wants to start a fucking union. Coca-Cola fucking, the corporation says, oh, we can't have that. The government fucking funds military people to kill them. Nothing changed in their fucking family. We're fucking soldiers, man. What am I gonna do? Pray for his fucking soul? Yeah, it changes, man. Yeah. It's changed. I'm changed. I didn't want to, but what's really fucked up is I don't even know if I'm doing this because I want to have some kind of redemption, if I'm having a change of heart, if I found Jesus. I don't know if it's that, or if it's because with the internet now, all this information, it's out there. Everybody's got it. That's the two things that fucking surprise me the most, is that all this fucking information is right there on the fucking internet. It's all fucking there. Everything that I'm saying. People don't want to believe what I'm saying, fine. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you too. It doesn't matter, because you could look it up. It's there. It's not a secret anymore. And the other fucking surprise is that nobody does a fucking thing about it. Nobody does anything about anybody that does anything fucking corrupt, whether it's the government or Hollywood or the fucking priests. I don't even know what the fuck. I'm sorry, man. I go on fucking rants. But if you let me, I'll get back to the point, I swear to God.
We can end this now if you've already said everything that you want to say. I think we've got a lot of information. We were packing up, we thought we were done, and Johnny said that there was the most important thing that he wanted to say he hadn't actually said. So we got everything set up, and we shot one more final piece of the interview.
Well, I keep trying to get to it, and I keep going on these tangents. I apologize. That's me. I don't know. Talking about all this shit. I was going to come in here, and I was just going to say that the mafia's biggest business is child sex trafficking. And that's what I found out when I was made the second time. And I went through 2 years of knowing that there were guys that wanted to kill me because all the money I'm making, and what they didn't know was that it was because of peddling kids to even from being a kid and growing up scared, faking that toughness, becoming those bullies that I feared, becoming my father, becoming violent and a murderer. It really fucking terrified me to know that this shit really fucked me up. It really fucked me up. But everybody else at that level is okay with it. That's fucking scary. You don't know how high up this goes. But it's high up. And it's not just the mafia that's running it. It's politicians high up, names you'd know. The Vatican, people already kind of know about that. And Hollywood, people are about to know about that. I'm so happy in a way, because for the first time in my life, I feel, I'm gonna sound like a homo, but I feel this, like this light inside. The real clear difference between right and wrong. And I started feeling that way. I was having sex with one of the girls. She was 15. I do a lot of drugs. Now I know it's because I had to do something probably to get by living in my life, and there's probably a lot more of us that do drugs. I don't know, but I remember I was fucking her, and she whispers in my ear, "Yeah, you like this 15-year-old pussy, don't you?" I was all cranked out from the night before, and I looked in the mirror, and I remember I looked like a panther or something. You know, I had been up for days, so I was probably hallucinating a little bit, and I looked like ugly, you know, to myself, but in my pupils I could see me, and I looked at myself, and I remember thinking, you are the worst piece of shit that you could ever imagine. I've been in rooms with really bad people, with killers, guys that you look at and there's something that's there. You know that given the right circumstance, the right moment, they would take your life. These other guys that fuck children, it's like the absence of soul. It's like a black hole of energy. And this world is infested with these guys. I've seen it firsthand, and I'd like to believe that I don't even know if I'm doing this because it's an insurance policy, because I'm trying to exact revenge, because I feel bad for the things that I've done or the things that I've seen. Maybe it is that. Maybe I'm just so fucking evil myself. I'm not even doing this for the right reasons. But you know what? I don't give myself enough fucking credit. I don't. And that's because of my fucking dad. I don't give myself enough fucking credit. It is fucked up. It is wrong. And it needs to stop. And I don't know what's gonna happen, but people are gonna find out, or they're gonna fucking they're gonna have to kill a lot of people. They're gonna have to turn off the internet. They're gonna have to do something. But this is a big business, and this is going on, and it's happening, and it needs to be told, and it needs to be spoken about. And yes, I am sorry for hurting people. I really am.
Well, I believe that anyone can be. So, I think that is a very powerful experience for people. I do want to be careful about that because I almost, when he was referencing that and thinking about that, it could be like this, I want to, this isn't working for me anymore. I'm in trouble. I'm in danger. I've killed my best friend. I've burned all my bridges. Okay, so maybe this could work for me. And my worry is that would be his, and he seemed so shallow and glib about it when he made those references, that my worry is that it is one more strategy he's trying to engage now, not only to manipulate those around him, but to manipulate the very hope of redemption, And I certainly didn't get the sense that he was like, he had really embraced anything, and he was truly penitent, and he was, truly understanding that message. There wasn't enough there for me to catch that if he was.
That just feeling you get, and I think I told you, Johnny, as much as what you're seeing you won't believe that he was a pretty spiritual person on the inside, and I am too, and I think that was a connection we always had together, and I feel like I could always feel this thread of him in my life. He was that constant that I knew if I called Johnny in the middle of the night, he would do anything for me. He would drop everything and be there for me. And then we wouldn't talk for years, and that was okay too. But the thread of me that feels that connection to him, I don't think he's here anymore. I don't.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4. I heard that you say that in the film business. Yeah? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Did you hear me when I went inside to go take a piss?
Luckily, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you want to eat? You guys want to eat? Hey, you hungry? Oh, how you doing? What? Oh, yeah. 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 How you doing? You take cash?
Yeah.
All right.
I think in the end, what he was trying to do here is try to influence the world in a different way and help people see what can happen, and if you go down a path and you make these choices, how it can turn out, and how some things you just can't get out of. I'm glad you did the right thing now.
A lot of people from New York like Papa John's.
A lot of people from New York like Papa
Yeah.
John. Yeah, it's because they don't have a fucking Vito and Michael's here. All right, thanks.
All right, man.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, gracias.
Good day, bye.
All right, take care. All right. Yeah, let's see. Jesus Christ, this guy with the fucking camera. Can we eat?
Hey, Johnny, tell us about that pizza pie again.
There's a fucking pizza place in it's in New York, but they have one in Connecticut. The fucking guy finally opened up one in Connecticut. I waited since I was 8 years old, and it's called Vito and Michael's. But this fucking place, they have. People exaggerate, when they say, "Yeah, I got this fucking, I got this pizza and oh, it's just thick or whatever." This fucking pizza, it's called the 10,000 calorie pizza. It's not super huge, it's not super wide. It's fucking this thick, all kinds of fucking meats, everything. It's fucking beautiful. It's $45 fucking dollars, and with every penny. It's the only pizza that if you're a fucking guinea, that you're allowed to eat it with a fork and knife. You cannot pick it up. You have to eat it with a fork and knife. I'm telling you about fucking whacking people, making ceremonies, slicing up fucking, draining blood off of degenerate gamblers in a tub, and you're asking me about the fucking pizzas we order. You guys are fucking racist.